Yeah,
Yeah.
but also there's stuff we might miss.
But as for my ideas and my thoughts and everything that I really am passionate about with the department, I have already written it down in like all the appropriate channels. So.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm gonna continue reading through, and anything that I have questions about or would like to discuss, I'll bring up.
But yeah, before with SD, I will admit I was kind of guilty of this. It's like, you know how in Star Wars, like there's constantly fucking like rebels just walking up to people as like, and being like, oh, you really don't wanna like make me mad or do something bad, because then this higher guy above me is gonna get really mad. Yeah, before like HR in regards to the interaction with security, it was basically that. It's like, oh, don't you break any rules? I'm gonna report it. Ooh,
Yeah,
we're like
that
boogeyman.
should not be, and we don't need forums. I mean, internally, sure, but for other people to make reports, there should be like a
Mr.
secretary
Pancake.
that's
Hey,
specifically
Pancake.
that specifically receives reports from people. Also, for your information, this is the audio in this VC is being recorded.
Oh.
For transcript purposes, so we can like not have everything explode.
Okay, bet.
Hi, Pancake.
Hey, good.
We were talking about
Oh
like
yeah.
HR,
So
HR being boogeyman of security inside 12 before when we
forms
could
and
write
like
forms.
paperwork and bureaucracy should be internal. In RPs, there should be no forms being filled out by anyone other than HR department members.
I agree.
Because that's just
I mean, to
extra
be honest, like,
annoyance to the RP.
it's just boring. Like, we gotta remember, we're a max of. I mean, we're probably not even gonna max out the servers. Maybe in the first few months, but
We're gonna have like
after that,
2
wow.
HR members per RP at max.
I'm
gonna be
on
in a
average.
lot of
maybe,
those.
maybe not. There's gonna be more, but the only issue is that as a player, you don't want to fucking fill out forms when you can only play or role play like once a day, and
Yeah,
role
bro.
plays for 2 hours. You play for fucking role play, not filling out forms.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We gotta
So
remember, we gotta remember the core concept of an SCP, basically a fucking role playing community. We're old nerds that like the SCP universe and want to try to roleplay in it. Okay, we're all huge, massive fucking nerds. We don't want to fill some fucking forms. Sure, on
Yeah.
Discord, on a high rank
Yeah.
and everything, you want a sort of hierarchy. Then yeah, sure, it can be somewhat
I
fun
mean,
to
maybe
role play in that way. But
do you remember
don't
that
know.
idea about having us kind of advise departments upon request for certain members getting promoted? Or
I don't
getting,
think that's a good
getting
idea, honestly.
not promoted, but
For department hiring.
hiring, yeah.
Easy vibe.
Maybe we could
I
have
feel
Yeah, I
like
think
that
it's a
could
good idea.
be. Yeah, I mean, I agree with that. Like, everything HR related should be on Discord most of the time. Like, if you want to join a new department. That's why I said, like, oh, by the way, I never fucking answered to Rich P. I'm sorry for that. I should probably address it, like, later on. If you want Rich P, we can hop in a VC. I can quickly answer you. Um, Anyways, I'm getting sidetracked. But the thing is, I feel like not HR hiring. What I mean is that to give the department more meaningfulness. That's why I feel like they should manage most of other department application, and then us
we're not gonna
we
manage it.
present.
We're just
I
gonna
think
be
No,
a
but
that's a good
very
idea.
small
That's a
voice among many.
Yeah, I
I
know,
feel
but
like
then what's the
we're supposed
guys?
to
You
be
got to
main
remember, a
voice.
department is human resources. We're not just one department. Technically, we should be the department that manages every hiring. See what I mean? That's the issue in Site
No.
12. No, trust me. Trust me. As a HR hiring, the big issue with HR is that it was useless because it basically did nothing that an HR department would do. And it basically, in the end, was useless because it was just quote unquote forms. And we were doing security this, security that. But in the end, it's supposed to be human resources. Now, I don't know how we're going to
Not
name
paper
it later on, but
resources.
if it's still supposed to be in relations to, managing employees, sorry, if we don't actually manage or have some sort of power on other departments when it comes to hiring people and their members, HR just it's not useful because it doesn't make sense. The name just doesn't make sense. And I don't mean fully manage. I mean the departments still have the creative liberty of doing whatever they want with their application. What I mean is that we weed out, basically we do their job finding good applicants and then we present it and then they pick the people that they want to be, or if it comes to it, then everyone. So, it actually adds an extra step to the department because it's our only goal. Like, let's be honest, we can't have that much ideas because it's either we manage, department members or like their hiring and also actual human resources, or we go in a more ethics community, or we go more in an administrative way where we manage more like SCP correlations and everything. So it's that was the biggest issue with Site 12, which is why I'm quite happy that there are so many people that are actually giving their opinions and working on it because it gives more creative freedom and opinions. But these, with the department that we have, those are the main. Now, what
Oh, huh?
ethics committee?
Is that
Because
me,
come
Eddie?
on,
Did,
it's
did
been
we,
in a
did we also
yeah.
just
Nobody.
break up for y'all, or is that just me?
No,
No,
it
I
kind of broke up.
it broke up for me too.
I think it's fine now, Mesh Banking.
Okay,
Yeah.
Wait,
Okay, are we
is it
bringing
better
back?
now?
it's better
Yeah, it's
now.
better.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Are we bringing
you're
back
good.
infractions or no?
No, infractions
I
should
have
not
no
be a thing.
idea. I have no idea to be honest, guys. Like honestly, sure, I'm an HR executive and I have experience in the HR department, but I'm out skiing 3/4 of my day, and then when I come back home, I just go sleep. So honestly, I'm not quite active for now. I will be going back home 3rd of January. Where I'll have my computer and everything, so I'll be able to do more stuff. But honestly, I have no idea. So don't see me as a higher rank. Okay, I'm just as equal guys. Okay.
Yeah. Uh
Okay.
oh.
Okay.
The department isn't done
Okay.
yet.
Okay.
Yeah.
Z5 just gave me HR executive because I was the first one to ask. Okay, don't see me as above you. Right?
I was
No,
asking
seriously,
too.
we're all equal. Okay.
Personally, like, yeah, human resources implies that we, manage human resources. But that's why I think HR should be renamed to like ethics committee or some other name. And also, before, yeah, HR had basically nothing to do except stand around in RPs and LARP as angry middle managers. But here we have so many opportunities. We could add like a branch that's basically fucking lawyers. We could have actual like actual courts on site, an actual HR judge or an actual like I don't know HR arbiter, whatever you want to call it, or like legal advisors and whatnot. Advising people on like what would break the code of ethics, so on. We could have
one of
D-class overseers.
One of the things that I wanted to point out with the whole court thing was RPs are around 1.5 hours to 3.5 hours, approximately. Do we really
Well, yeah,
want to take 30 minutes of that from not only a staff member in HR, but also a player in the server who did an infraction or something, just to do a stinking court?
Players aren't doing the infractions, we are.
No,
Yeah, I
the
mean,
player
I think
does.
that we
The
need-
player commits an infraction. We enforce the infraction.
We're not supposed to.
I know,
enforce
but
the
it's
size.
the only issue. The only issue is that I'm gonna take this as experience also coming on my server because it's more round based, so it's just roles. The issue is a regular person that joins Site 12 that just wants to roleplay casually is not gonna look up a fucking list of rules of like a long list of rules. I'm talking the COE, whatever infractions and everything. They play as a guard and I don't know, they just want to role play. They don't want to read 5 documents of 18 pages each just to, know everything. And same thing for an HR person to play. A big issue we had in our department is that it was not fun. It was not fun. Like Dr. Gage said, uh, you were basically a middle manager that didn't even do nothing. You actually just sat and spectated. Personally, I was fine with that because most of the time I just chatted with people. But most people aren't fine with that, and they have sadly something called main character syndrome, or where they really want to be engaged in role play. And like I'd say 60% of any role players have that, whether you realize it or not. It could be you, it could be me. Niche reference, by the way. No, the thing is, we need to make HR fun. Okay, so sure, we got to find a way to make it somewhat useful on Discord, but we got to keep in mind that it's a department run by players. And like, sure, if we have a big Discord influence or influx, that's cool and all, but in game, if it's useless, then what's even the goal
That's
to
fair.
rank up? Because let's be honest, if you want to rank up, you want to flex that shit in game. Look at me, bro. I'm a level 3 person now. I get to do shit. You're under me, boy. You know what I mean? It's like everybody has that feeling where you actually want to flex your roles and everything. You don't just rank up because I don't know. I feel like spending 10 hours a day working on a department that is on Discord that is absolutely useless for my life just to do nothing in game, which is the sole goal of this server originally. So it's cool that we're trying to find a way to make it engaging on Discord, but we got to keep in mind that we really, really fucking need to make it engaging in game because that is what drove HR to its death. And I'm pretty sure McCruff, yeah, that is stinky ass McCruff. Most people didn't play HR in game after like 2 months because they realize it's boring. You just sit and you have no authority. And even if we have a set of rules and everything, because everybody knows each other and it's such a small community, you don't want to fucking say
Fuck you.
to a
you did
friend
something bad.
like,
uh,
oh
you're
no,
gonna
you can't do
explode
that. You know
now.
what? You're getting demoted in your department. No.
I'm gonna send a thermonuclear missile via interstellar space to your house
Yeah,
right now.
I mean, exactly. But like, come on, we gotta remember, we're all. I'm sorry, but the core concept is we're all nerds, okay? And we basically all know each other. And you don't want to pull out an infraction and make your friend get demoted in a department, and then there's fucking drama because hey, this is the English community and this and that. So we have to make it so sure we somehow on like we manage rules, but we if it's not role play related or coordinated with the hoster, we shouldn't have that much power because then most people are never going to use that power because they do not want to inflict that on their friend because we're all basically fucking friends most of the time, and or at least you know this person and you don't want to make them mad. That was another big issue with HR. It was very like, oh no, you did this, so you know what? I'm gonna write a report on you, and boom, and you're
Okay,
gonna be pissed at me.
I think we've kind of beat the horse to shit at this point.
One more thing.
Yeah.
One more thing about the lore idea. First, Rage, about your point with it taking too much time to host. The whole point is that it would be like basically an assistant to the site director to deal with like
Yes.
with like minor infractions that would like just waste the site director's time, like oh no, this guy like shot like misclicked and shot his gun or something. No,
Like,
but
Yeah.
deal with,
like,
with that kind of shit.
No, I agree with Gork. I agree with Gork. I know a lot of the people that still played HR in the late run, me included, always try to go see the director and act as their assistant, because then you actually have some sort of role playing power and not just power overall. It's like it's engaging one
Can
way or
we-
another for the role
I'd
play. You
like to-
actually have a role in assisting the person. Obviously, that would be quite difficult to implement if you're just a low rank or if we have like 6 HRs. But that is a very good idea, and I agree we should maybe do something about that.
I think the way we might implement that is have the highest ranking HR on the server be have a direct pipeline to the site director that's reliable, and have a very easily used pipeline from normal players to HR, and then those people who are interacting with those players, if it's an actually important offense, they bring it up to their higher up, and if that higher up decides it so, that higher up brings it up to the site director to receive permission to punish, and then gets like a specific like a signed note saying issue this certain punishment in RP to this person for like an MTF to carry out on site, or not an MTF, like the MTF but
The
for
security.
security in this RP. I forgot what it's called. But
Security.
they would be the ones who issue that punishment, and the most important thing is that it never leaves that one RP. As soon as the RP is over, it might as well have never happened.
Yeah, I agree. But yeah, when I say
yes.
like judge and trial, I more mean like
Internally,
like arbiter essentially, mini
Arbiter?
site director to deal with minor administrative shit.
yeah, I mean, instead of, I feel like a court is a really bad way to put it. It's more so just a pipeline of people who have to make certain decisions to get it to the place in which it actually gets punished for. So that the site director has fewer things that he has
complaint,
to sift through.
basically. We deal
Yeah.
with complaints,
Yeah.
more or less.
Yeah.
Alright. I'd like to turn your attention towards the poll that we have, the original one. As you can see, handing out verbal warnings and making reports only has 8 votes,
Which is
which
less than
does
half.
show that it's quite unpopular with a significant part of the site, with HR currently.
Yeah, and
And,
that there has to be a lot of bureaucracy when it comes to that. But if someone like kills 3 D-class in a row who are just sitting around taking a shit in the bathroom, that's the kind of thing.
Yeah,
that
yeah.
would
At that
receive
point,
punishment.
you just have to act like any Foundation personnel would have to act.
Yeah, like there should be a system in place for it to happen, but there has to be very strict regulations for anyone to actually receive any kind of RP punishment for it. Does that make sense?
I got some things to talk about as well.
Okay.
Yeah.
McGrath, go ahead.
Go ahead.
So, it's pretty basic. First and most important thing I think you guys should realize here. One of the main reasons HR died, and I always say this, shut the fuck up, Pancake, is because I wasn't able to get anything through because I would need to give HR some form of power in order to get those things to actually work as they intended. Like, they would never be able to enforce the
Yeah.
COE, and they never could. They never could enforce SOPs because no one ever listened to them because they never had power. Now, I'm not saying that means we should just give them power equivalent to, like, SD, but I'm saying we should make it somewhere to where they can actually enforce things, but not to a point where they can make things horrible for other people to deal with. Like, I'm saying they should be somewhat equivalent to research power in terms of some situations, but not all the time.
I
It's kind of
think-
hard to explain.
I think
I have
what
a
I-
point on this.
What
go
I
ahead, Kate.
envision-
the way that I was thinking that the quote unquote power of HR would get implemented is that no one in HR can tell anyone else what to do. They can't actually do anything. All they do is receive reports, make decisions on whether to escalate that report, and once it gets to the site director, he gives us instructions and permission to do something. He is the one who has power, not us.
That's sort of actually how the old HR thing worked, and not to ruin your dreams and wishes here, but also how it kind of died. Because the director
too
would
much
never listen.
bureaucracy?
That's
Mm,
just my thing.
I would like to say that we can probably build power by being we can probably provide HR with some soft power by being really interacting with the players and doing different things. Like we organize the different activities during the RP, so not everyone is gathered at
Tests and
at
stuff.
testing, because that's the only interesting thing that's happening. And then we can cash that in metaphorically for when we need
This
to do
is-
stuff like organizing
What are you talking
medical
about?
trials. What?
What are you talking about?
about HR doing some more like activities for personnel. I think that's what Rich P is talking about.
Yeah.
Um,
interacting with personnel, and in my vision, HR is like an alternative to doing testing. We should provide people with activities, players with activities to stay engaged with the RP, even if they're not the main focus.
Yeah.
I know, but we have to be honest. Also, Gage, by the way, what you just said is the definition of middle management. You're the middleman and you manage people and yeah, middle management. Um, but Rich P, the issue is that we have to remember that let's be realistic, okay? Um, people are not going to do activities if there's an experiment going, or if there's this, or if there's a code. Nobody is going to do that because it's a very small, it's 40 people max. And there's this issue of clumped up areas where it's just a lot of people. And well, you can't really do an activity if you don't have admin powers. You really can't, except if they make a whole lot of plugins. But they're not gonna do that because it would be way too much time and effort for a department, and that is the risk reward factor is not good enough because it's not worth
Well,
it
then
to
we need something
spend.
else. We need soft power. I don't think that
I agree.
appealing to someone else's authority
Y-
is going to give us the good
That is
reputation we
why
seek in HR.
that is why I feel like HR should be more of a administrative department other than a human resources one. Because as much as I love HR, human resources, and everything, it's just not possible. Not in SCPSL, not in this
Thank you.
type of community.
You're
No,
leaning
I'm being
towards
truthful.
ethics right now.
Huh?
What?
You're
What do
leaning
you say?
towards ethics committee right now.
Yeah.
No, I'm not going through ethics committee. What I'm saying is more administrative power. Think of the director. Okay, ethics committee would be COE and everything. Oh, you broke this rule, bam, you're a class D. That is why it's very confusing. But I feel like HR should be sub departments reunited as one. We like I don't know, I can't really envision this correctly. I can't correctly
don't-
put words to this
there
because
should
I'm
not-
tired as fuck. but
How much power are you speaking of? At what
No,
threshold
I
would
have
we
no
have to go
idea.
to a
I
higher
have no
power?
idea. I have no idea. Also, a thing I'm wondering, and this is an overall question, Z5, if you want to answer, or key card accreditation, which means level 1, level 2, level 3, level 4, so level 2 rules above level 1, etc. Because I feel like in Site 12, if you weren't, you could be a level 4, but if you're not in the department, you have no power, which always made zero sense to me because you're technically like way above said person. Um, just follow the SOP, right? Yeah, but like I don't know. This is like in SCP. If you know, if you're a level 4 and you're a level 3 personnel, even if it's in any other department, you still have clearance above them. Do we need chain of command with a good SOP? I'm worried. Yeah, I don't know,
People
man.
aren't, like
Yes.
we said, people aren't always gonna read the entire 18-page long SOP.
They're
for
they're never
uh,
good. They're never good. There's literally, I think, if we're on the server of 40 people, and 30 of them are active members of the Discord, I
No,
can
like,
guarantee you only
other
18
players.
of those 30 active people
Just
are gonna read
log
that shit.
when
Okay.
someone does something wrong. McGruff, you should
Z5,
log.
I think you have
You know,
a little bit of too high expectations for an SCPSL player base right now.
There it is.
This is SCPSL. It's not like 25-year-olds that will read stuff and actually put this and that and blah blah blah.
that's
is-
that's
Yeah, I
the
mean,
yeah.
you have
this
to
was-
realize
McGruff,
this
I
group
think, I
of
think we can
people
both agree
that-
on this, McGruff. This was the issue with the old HR. We wanted to
Yeah, we made things
basically-
too big. That's the thing.
Yeah,
Like,
we had.
No one
It's
read
not that
anything.
we had too big visions. It's just that we made small things too
And we
big
were also
and too
way too
confusing.
small to actually enforce any of that.
And
So it's like we can.
And hell, nobody wanted to even enforce it, bro. Like
also,
nobody
Exactly.
would, and nobody
you have
wanted
to realize,
to do.
you have to realize the people who are in this VC right now, and the people who are talking in the staff chat, in the chat, making recommendations and deciding what's going to happen, are the people who are most dedicated to the server. We can't say, oh, I would fill out a 15-page long form every single time someone does something courteous. Because that's not realistic. You are you. You gotta realize where you are and what you're doing and how much energy you're putting into this compared to the average person.
Yeah.
Okay, well, if that's the case,
Just a game.
then maybe we just take a step back and reconsider if we even want this department to have anything to do with actually interacting with personnel besides, like, I don't know, overseeing
Yes.
fucking Class D or something.
That's thank you, Gork. You said what I wanted to say originally.
As you can see,
It's like-
HR is not something easy to handle. Why do you think? I do it?
Yes. Well, welcome to the high board meeting we had a long time ago while HR was still alive. We don't know what to
sum
do
it
with the
up,
fucking department.
Don't let this get your hopes down, because I have a good feeling that this will prosper in this site for some amount of time.
Yes.
But I will say this: everything will contradict each other, no matter how hard you try. People will not like this department, no matter how hard you try. Everything will contradict something else. You
Well-
just have to keep working on it.
There is a
That's what I
person-
did
Or-
with the Code of Ethics. That's how I kept the Code of Ethics somehow working with how shitty it was for the next, like, 1 or 2 months.
Yeah. Or we have the thermonuclear option, which is just fuck HR and we think of a new department overall that has maybe nothing to
the
do with
problem
HR.
is, HR is relatively the same across the board no matter what you do. It's gonna be the same. Like, adding more power would just be a different form of HR. Adding less power would just be a different form of HR. It's not really, like, you just have to go with it.
The very
I
vague
mean,
idea that
I'm
this
gonna be dead ass. I don't even feel like HR should be the proper name of the old department, because honestly, we had nothing to do with human resources. We did not manage personnel, and
Yeah.
we are probably still not gonna manage personnel, which is why I believe HR should not be the name for said department.
Yeah.
It
yeah,
just if we have nothing, if none of the ideas that I said, such as managing, I don't know, employees or other people have said, that one way or another include us having one form of utility for other departments, such as managing their new hires, recommending people to be ranked up and everything. If we don't do any of those, even the gun license, we could distribute gun licenses. That is still not HR, because HR is about something or with family. They deal with people getting fired. They hire new people. They manage salaries.
I
And
think
that is it. That is human resources.
no. Instead of
Which
instead
is-
of
it's same thing
thinking instead
Personal
of thinking
regulations.
instead of thinking of human resources as a place wherein higher ups go to handle the other lower ranking personnel who are humans, we should consider HR a place for the regular personnel to contact to get to the higher ups.
Okay, I have an
No.
idea.
Flip it on its head.
I have an idea.
No,
So at minimum, we rename the department. At most, we basically completely exit the department and any ideas we had of it and build up a brand new department. No.
What? We're already
I'm
building
not
up a
quite
brand new
sure. What I
department.
mean is
We can
that-
change the name if we
We
want.
The department just started.
It's not
I
a
don't
big
think we
deal if
should.
we change
Yeah,
the
but-
name. We can build whatever
Yeah,
we
but-
want here, and if HR doesn't seem to fit the name, then and we have a better option, sure, changing the name's
what's
fine.
what's another
Yeah,
name?
yeah.
But it's the
Come
same
up with another
No,
department.
but
I mean,
overall,
that-
overall, what I mean is that the goal or the mindset that we have right now about personnel regulations are most definitely not gonna fit, because that would mean a huge amount of paperwork if we want to implement anything that actually has to do with human resources. What I mean is not just the name, it's the mindset of the ideas, of what you propose, of the theories. We have to like break off this chain of thinking human resources, personnel regulations, personnel managing. That's what I meant. I'm sorry if I miscommunicated that. I didn't mean just the name. I mean the whole mentality of how we're thinking it. It could be something one way or another, administrative or personnel, but in the long run, it's not gonna last if we're just gonna think about managing personnel or being a middle manager or connecting. I'm sorry, but connecting lower rank to higher ranks. Because in game, you can easily go to a higher rank and speak to them. In the
No.
Discord, you can easily DM a high rank and everything.
I'm
Because
talking
everyone's
about
gonna do that, and everyone's gonna go to nobody's gonna go to HR to speak to someone which they
There-
could DM
there
and get
have
the
been
exact same answer.
so many
Yeah, I agree.
moments in RP where there has been a disagreement, and it has been 45 minutes, and I have been shot in the head by another personnel because I found out they were a spy. I tried to report it to administration, and they literally weren't there dealing with other shit. We need to take
Yeah,
some
but
off
then-
that load.
Yeah,
on
but
the
then
center.
HR would not make sense because then it's a whole nother idea. Okay, if we're managing personnel, discovering spies, and we could go say that to the higher rank. They heard it from you. They hear it from me. If they don't do shit, they don't do shit, and that's a role playing issue. And if people spend 45 minutes getting confused and then kill each other, I'm sorry, that's because they just don't know how to role play, or they're just too fucking dumb to realize that, oh, maybe he's saying the truth. Even if we put a middleman, which is the biggest issue that we had with the other HR, that's what McCruff said. Anything that we say is probably going to correlate to another issue or relate to something that already existed. That is literally middle management. That is what we're going to do if we think of it that way, which is why I think we need to break off from the idea and think something new and not try to replicate the old HR. And again, if you spend 45 minutes arguing on one single thing, then I'm sorry. I'm not just saying you, I'm saying the other people who don't want to understand. That's a role playing issue for them. HR, no amount of HR, no amount of middle manager is going to fix that. And even if it did, then it's a 1 in 10 role play moment. Overall, you're not going to do much.
How about
Yeah,
this?
agreed.
Okay.
So
What
wait,
if
Oh, okay.
instead of wasting time trying to figure out what we're gonna do with HR, how we're gonna do this, how we're gonna do that, we'll take what Rich P said and try out different things that we come up with, use them over the course of weeks, months, however long it takes, see which thing works best, keep that best thing, try out new things. Boom. Like Rich
like-
P said.
like,
And
uh,
Z5,
now,
I'm
McCruff,
stealing
Us,
his idea.
we can
McCruff and
talk
Rich-
here
McCruff
for
and
however
Richie,
long we
hold
want,
on.
and we are never going to actually know what's going to happen with it.
No, hold on. What I just want to say one thing, and then I'm probably gonna just mute and listen up and do my night routine. What I mean is, in a perfect world, I would 100% agree with that. But you have to remember, we are a small niche community. Right now, we have a whole lot of people in HR, a whole lot of people in this DC talking. But you need to be realistic. In a month, maybe you know it or not, you're just gonna lose interest or you're gonna burn out. We can try a whole lot of ideas. We can maybe try and write 50 different documents, ask for many plugins. But again, it's a small community. It's probably gonna be a relatively small department with 20 to 30 people, maybe more maximum. I mean, security maxed out at 60, I think. If somebody can tell me wrong, I think you were a lieutenant, McCruff, so correct me if I'm wrong.
Security got
It's
to
not
at
worth-
most 70 at one point, but it just
Yeah.
it didn't get really
So-
any higher. than that.
It's not, and they got at 70, and it was a 2 point something K server, just to tell you, okay? It's like the amount of effort is not worth the reward. As much as I love the concept of HR and being an exec in in a department or staff or whatever, being part of an HR, I will personally not put that much effort in it because I do not want to spend 5 months working on a project just to realize that we've exhausted all possibilities. Now we can try a couple, but we can't try them all because again, we're humans. It's internet. It's the internet. It's disconnected from our regular lives. Okay, we do this. It's voluntarily. Okay, and you burn out, and sometimes you just lose interest. You just lose interest, and that's normal, and that's perfectly fine. But be realistic, guys. Okay, we're not in a perfect world. We're a niche community. We're online. It's Discord. It's not.
Yep,
It's
okay,
not the
come on,
perfect
man,
world.
stop leaving the department.
No, I love it, but it's just, dude, I'm being realistic. No amount. As much as you love one thing, you're not gonna spend 6 months doing something, working hours and hours and hours. It's not worth pulling all nighters or just spending your
Okay,
entire
buddy.
afternoon for a couple
You
days.
want to know something else that I got in store for you? Why not Start simple and easy. Go basic as you can go.
I agree with
And then
that.
work your way up as we go on. And then it's a form of experimenting, but you're not using everything at once. You're just going based off of what you see is how it's working. Build off of that.
Yeah, well, what I was gonna
Okay,
say
so-
is like other
I would
departments
agree.
have
I
the
would agree with that.
other departments have the room and already have the establishment already to make small changes without huge risks, because small changes mean very little. But I mean, if with a completely brand new department, that's hard.
Okay, so if we do go with this idea of a very minimalistic, very basic one idea HR, what idea do we want this HR or whatever we end up naming it to be? What do we want to do in game? Let's name one thing.
Okay.
Protect
so
E-class interests.
Yes, agree.
I think the most important thing about HDR, in my opinion, is just being middle management. Like Pancake said.
What do you mean by that? In like RP terms or like in both
RP terms.
roles? Okay, I'm back. Okay.
Like
Okay,
Is
but
our HR is not gonna be associated with anything like with roles with Discord or server rules, anything like that, right?
yeah,
Like,
yeah.
we're keeping
Well,
that separate.
I
Okay.
think we should
If-
set a standard for our staff members to understand and know the rules and make those reports to staff as a normal player when possible and as often as possible. But we shouldn't.
I mean, yeah, but that's just any
But
department.
we
then,
shouldn't have any
but
extra
then,
power
guys,
over everyone else.
guys. No, I know, but then comes the dilemma that we had with the old HR is that. Wait, I'm sorry.
Nothing on-
With the old HR, which is you, as a person, you'll maybe do a couple reports, but you will not snitch on your friends, whether you want it or not. That it was a dooming of HR, and that is how happened. Which
Yeah.
again, it's a lot of the ideas. Don't get me wrong; they're good ideas. But me and McCruff and Vislik, we've tested most of them. We poured a lot of hours into working this, and I have a definitive answer for you already. It's not gonna work. People are gonna be motivated for a week maximum, and then they're gonna realize it's just a snitch apartment. As much as I hated when people said that, it is somewhat true. And no amount of people will want to snitch on their friends.
Listen, buddy.
No, I'm
How
just,
about
dude,
this?
I'm not shutting
How
down
about this?
ideas. I'm just being honest.
How about this? Start simple, as a lot of people have agreed with that, and let
Yeah,
it go.
no,
from
I agree.
Instead
I'm
of
just.
instead of being realistic, let's not be realistic. Let's start simple, and then we can build off of that, because this will make our lives 10 times easier without having to worry about the whole let's be realistic thing. Let's just do this.
No, I'm not. I'm not
not have
being
to worry
realistic
about it.
overall with the department. I'm just like talking about the idea that he brought up and saying that we've already had this past mistake and that.
Pancake, you've put
This
down
idea
nearly
won't
every
work.
single idea that people have put up.
Yeah, no, you
Because
have
McGruff,
put down
McGruff, no,
every
Pancake,
single
Pancake,
idea of
Pancake.
the HR department existing in the first place just because, oh, people don't want this to happen and this is a precedent for that. We want to be different.
Because-
I understand that it's important to bring up things that have happened in the past when making decisions about the future, but now is not the time. When we're making a very small decision and testing out something and seeing how the community likes it, we should not be considering every single possible variable on making the
I'm
biggest
not-
decisions possible and how human psychology affects how middle management even exists in the first place.
Okay,
No,
guys,
I'm
guys.
just saying we've already tested stuff, and look, okay, we've already. This is gonna be the same community for now. Okay, for now it's mostly old Site 12 people.
Yes.
I'm just saying, most of the ideas that have been brought up, I'm sorry, we've tested them. They have not worked. We can try them again. Maybe they'll work. Maybe I'm just dumb and I'm just. McCruff, you have to be honest with yourself. We've tested those ideas. It did not work. That's why I'm trying to think about new ideas.
Maybe you're right, Pancake. Maybe it didn't work. Okay, but you have
Yeah,
to
no, maybe I'm
understand
right, but
this
maybe
is
I'm
a
wrong, and I
completely
hope that I'm
fresh
wrong.
Start.
Well-
This is a fresh start where BOD do not intervene with our ideas. They do not intervene with anything. We have the say here.
That's
We
true,
can
bro.
do what
I-
we
that's-
want to do. We don't be limited by stuff. We can do what we can do, and then us.
Shit, no, McCruff's right.
And
Imagine
also-
Parker being so
Okay,
negative,
you
bro.
also have to
Nothing's limiting
realize-
us here.
This isn't physics. You can't just say, oh, hey, here's one counterexample wherein energy conservation does not apply. that's it's not objective like that. The implementation of how you do it matters on how it will work and whether it will succeed, not just what it is in
Okay,
the first
guys,
place.
guys. Okay,
Go ahead.
so
Yeah.
so since most people are in agreement that we should start simple and go from there, then we need to come to an agreement of what sort of simple we want to go with. Do we want to focus on the middle management aspect? Do we want to be basically D-class reps slash overseers?
I
Do we
think
want to just be
D-class reps would
work
be a
department?
great way to start because we know at least one side of the thing will like us. Maybe wardens won't like us
Yes,
that
I
much,
agree.
but
Mm.
no one's gonna really like us. We can go from there, see if it works. If it doesn't work, try again.
Yeah, I
have
agree.
to
I think we
say-
start with D-class.
Yeah, I
But
have
I-
to say, considering all departments are starting out, I feel like it's good if we're in close contact with other department heads slash executives slash staff or whatever, so we can actually all build something instead of, that is an issue with the old HRs that we had to adjust every time, which was so fucking annoying. But right now, since everybody's building their department, if we plan everything, not everything, we start small, but what I mean is that if we're in good contact with other department heads and include the ideas together, and all of us build around every department's idea, maybe security is going to come to us and say, hey, we have this idea, we probably need you guys one way or another for this to happen. Would you be down to maybe work on it, if you see what I mean? It's like that's a big relief and a big time saver, and would probably make all other
Gotcha.
departments more connected, more interconnected, and more useful to each other, and not just independent because it's a department, it's part of a site. It's all supposed to be connected, or on this case, regional sites. From what I've
yeah.
understood, R3 is.
I think
So-
the real problem, like last time with the other server, it was that there was not really a lot of communication between HR and the other
Oh yeah,
boards
no,
for the
totally,
other departments.
100%.
Like
100%.
even for
And the issue-
as for me, like for MTF and security, we didn't hear anything from y'all, and we keep getting reports about something that happened like weeks ago, and it's just getting brought up now. We're like, what
Whoa,
the fuck?
trust me. We tried. I think McGruff, you're gonna agree. We tried to get stuff working with other departments, but because it's been already 2 years, 3 years since departments were here, and they already build and concreted their ideas. It was just so hard to have a new department
Well,
and
one of the
adjust to everything.
larger problems with that was no one even bothered to submit reports
Yeah.
in the first place. And when they did, it could have been very this way or that way, because half the time we wouldn't have had proof for it because they wouldn't have submitted proof. So it's oh well.
Yeah, and then there's also the thing of, because it's so small, nobody wanted to report each other.
Yeah, like oh no, this guard in CDC accident misclicked and shot at D-class. Oh no, guess I gotta report that. All right, time to write up 3 paragraphs. Get a metal clip. Interview him.
No, honestly, it wasn't really 3 paragraphs. It was very short. But I asked a lot of old HR personnel why they never submitted reports. I don't know if I ever told you this, McGraw, but most of them answered me. To be honest, I just, 1, did not feel like in the middle of roleplay doing that, and 2, because I know this person one way or another, and I did not want their career in another department be one way or another tarnished, or because of me they're not going to be able to rank up. It's still online, but you still have to hold that in yourself, that because I did that, this person won't be able to. Of course, if it's a random and they did dumb shit, you don't give a damn, bro. You're gonna do a report. You don't give a shit.
My
But most of the
thing
time,
with
people who
that
make
though,
mistakes are active people.
yeah, my thing with that though is that I like how we're discussing making sure we get the D-class opinions and all that, but I think last time HR was focusing on that too with D-class. I can't really remember. It's been a minute, but I don't feel like HR should be fully focusing
Well, I'm not saying
on
we should
D-class.
focus on
Oh
D-class
no, Wolf.
necessarily.
Like
I'm saying we
other
should
people said,
start
we're
on it
starting
just
small.
because it's an easier topic to start on.
Yeah, just,
maybe
just,
maybe
just
it'll
a
evolve in
department.
something different later on.
Well,
And
Yeah,
because
can
it's
I-
All I'm just okay. Bet. Awesome.
Can I say
All right.
something?
Well, my thing is though is that I just hope we're not just focusing on one thing and not have anything else for any other situations that may occur, with personnel or whatnot. So
At the beginning, in the first week or 2, no, then we're gonna have to start simple to avoid building something grand just to see it fucking collapse under its own weight.
yeah, definitely.
So if we're in agreement for D-class shit, then we
here's
gotta
the
think
thing.
about labor department. As far as I know, D-class currently are thought to be under there, like preview, and like under them. So how do we integrate ourselves into their ideas and work together?
Uh, real quick. Oh fuck, I forgot what I was gonna say. Oh yeah. So let's also not just do D classes to start. We should have like 2 to 3 more things that we should also have as a start. But I'm not saying we should go with how many ideas? We had a shitload of ideas, but I'm not saying we should go for like all the ideas at once because, as Gork said, if we build something so big and no one likes it, then what's the point of it?
Yeah, I
Yeah,
mean,
we need to
do we
focus on
want
small things.
do we
should,
want
yeah,
maybe
we should
safety
create,
inspectors then?
we should
Like
we should create the
Hmm,
department
yeah, but then
in
there's-
micro chunks that are removable
Yes,
without like
this-
going and completely exploding.
You know what? How about if we write up any documents, we make a very rough thing. We don't fucking fancy it. I'm talking regular polish, regular size, just like 1 dot blah blah blah, and then 2 dot blah blah blah. We don't make it fancy. Like that's one of the examples of what I mean by like a rough thing. And then we try it out, and if it's good, then we refine the idea and we
Yeah.
fully implement it. But again, a good thing that we have and that we didn't have with the old HR is that we can actually work with other departments, such as the Class D thing that we want to do. If we get in close contact with SD, Z5, can you somehow talk your way up to maybe make a connect channel with other departments so it's easier to communicate and other people have logs. Maybe I don't know.
I
You do you.
are
But
we
something
still,
like that, I
are we
would-
still in agreement that any and all reporting that HR does should be positive reporting?
Yes.
Yeah, either positive reporting or no reporting, unless it's like
Wait,
Yeah.
what do you
like
mean by
like
that?
the
What do you
sword
mean
and
by
kill 3
positive
D-class.
No,
reporting?
like if you make a mistake, nobody's gonna, no HR personnel is gonna be like, blah blah blah. He did this. Report whatever.
Yeah,
Here's the clip.
Every
Like,
single time you do something
he
bad
saved
in
a
an
Class
RP,
D in a hostage. Yeah,
it stays
exactly.
in the
It's like,
RP.
Oh, okay.
he's
Yeah, basically
Yeah.
we make like we write up shit for exceptional conduct essentially.
Yeah, so that we don't
Oh, yeah.
have a bad name.
Yeah. Basically like how kind of how medals worked in
Oh,
in the
maybe like
Department 4.
suggestions, like for other department heads, like for security, for example. We just, give a suggestion for like a security guard that did great, like
yeah.
stop like a
Yeah,
whole
yeah,
riot
exactly.
and stuff. That'd be cool.
Yeah,
like, oh
precisely
my
that.
god, this dude saved a hostage during a Class D murder situation or whatever. So they're more praise and everything. And instead of going into the negative view of blah blah blah, he misclicked.
That would be
and,
so
he killed
awesome too for
someone.
like HR's name and everything. Like that would be awesome for other departments too, so they know. Oh
Yeah.
shit, they did this. All right.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
But okay, so back to the the as we since we have agreed on the idea of starting simple and building up from there, what things do we want to start with? First, how many things do we want to start with, and then which things those should be? We have already said that the class is probably a good idea. Do we maybe want health inspectors? To oversee like testing, like inspect shit, or would that be maybe crossing into engineering? So,
I think engineering. I think there should be a very clear and easy way for engineers and people who manage those kinds of things that oversee possible threats to go out and say, "Hey, HR, there's a problem. This specific thing that's in the schedule is very dangerous to do in this current state. Could we please not do that?" And then like it'll get through.
Yeah, but
That's kind of like the middle
a big
management
issue
thing.
with that is that
yeah, but that's
Yeah,
still
That's
middle
not really
management.
an
I'm not
HR
sure if
thing,
you
though.
want to go with that.
honestly, no, guys. Yeah, okay, Wolf. I don't know if you were here before, but what I mean is that like maybe break the HR mindset and just build something new, and then we decide something based on that.
Yeah.
You really need to break the HR mindset. Not everything needs to be human resources. Right now we're in the HR, but maybe
Okay.
we'll make a department that's completely, differently
I see what
minded,
you're
if
Yeah.
you know what I mean. It
Yeah.
doesn't
Yeah,
just have
yeah,
to
I
be
got you. I got
personnel,
you. All right, all
but
right.
it's
Yeah.
not to the people. I don't know. I don't remember who said that's middle management. I wouldn't say it's middle management. I'd say it's a roadblock for other people because maybe two people find this dangerous and then an HR pulls up and then cancels that and then well people have to do nothing for 20 minutes or maybe the
Oh,
hoster
I understand.
plans
Like
something in advance.
the importance of ensuring that when what HR does is majorly just not getting in the way of other people's RP flow.
Yes, that is a big issue that we had with the old HR. It was very like roadblocky was, which was I am HR. This experiment shall not pass. Nobody's doing this shit.
Yeah,
And
that's a
so the
lot of
hoster
shit
and
happening
so the
last time.
host and so yeah, and so hoster complains, staff scramble to find new ideas to do shit, which they did not plan. People are pissed because they're gonna have to wait another 20 minutes of just doing fucking nothing. And then the HR gets to write his little report and then everybody has this bind mindset of HR being like, you know what, I can stop whatever I want. It's not even about power. It's just the fact that HR can do that. Like even in HR that could have like level 5 clearance. Anybody, any department, any role that stops something and makes it boring and does it on a regular basis, it's just gonna make this person get hated or this department hated or this role hated
Yeah.
if you see what I mean. It's just boring. We really have to make it interesting for the person playing HR and for other departments and for server members and for players or else it's just not fun and well department dies off. It's just
I
that's a big issue that we had
I have
if you see what I
I have
mean.
an idea for an alternative take on the whole middle management idea, which is instead of being a place where people who have concerns for things that are already in the schedule that are going to happen, to bring it up and like get it canceled or something. Instead, we could be a place for like if there's a hazard in a path, we can not a path. There's a hazard with a new SCP or something. We could be the ones who distribute and enforce the regulations that whoever's looking into it and learning about that SCP, like discover. If that makes sense.
I have an idea. What if we are to implement like
I'm
some
recording
HR
this.
blocking stuff? Yeah, I was also about to ask you if you were still recording for transcribing purposes.
Yeah, I am.
So with what I just said earlier, a big issue is that it was not planned. That the HR person pulls up and is like, "Nah, this experiment ain't gonna happen, little twin. It's not happening, bro. GG's." What I mean is that what if hosters, we need to make a better connection with hosters so that they make special events. I believe engineering should also do this. Same for medical. Same for any of the other departments. But I feel like if a hoster, plus it would actually, I think, add like break off the boring day cycle and make it more interesting where you actually include other departments um, so that we have quote unquote a channel dedicated where a hoster can speak to HR people and say, hey, on my host, there will be this. I will need HR. If there's no HR, no issues, well, do this. But it would be good if, something like that, if you see what I mean. So it's actually planned and the hoster makes something else more interesting so that the HR still has role playing purposes. You'll still be able to role play, act as this, no experiment will happen. But the difference
So basically, yeah.
Yeah, it was.
You have a
hosters try to
valid
find new
out
ideas
there.
and make something else.
You completely died out there. There was no audio coming from you.
Yeah,
for a
you died
second.
out there, man.
Shit. Hold on, my internet's shit in here, bro. Let me sit here. Is it better now? Can you guys hear me better?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Okay. So the thing is, so it's planned out with a hoster, a channel where a hoster can speak to HR and plan something in advance so that when the HR actually does cancel the quote unquote experiment, so the HR person can role play as this person, um, you know, per blah 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 blah, this experiment has to be canceled. I need to speak to this personnel, and they do their role playing, so the person has fun while doing that, and then the hoster is in there scrambling because it was planned in advance, so players won't get bored. So the hoster does a sort of event because this experiment's been canceled, or I don't know, something like that happens, something like this. I believe they should also do this with other departments, so
can
it
I
actually
summarize
includes
what you
every
said?
department. Yeah,
So
sure,
like,
sure, of course.
what
I'll
you
stop yapping
mean
real quick.
is the difference between the posted schedule and the actual planned schedule is there, and the hoster should be able to request that HR prevent a certain thing that is on the posted schedule from happening because it's not on the planned schedule.
Thank you, oh wise one. You have summarized what I wanted to say. But
So
yeah, that is
essentially,
essentially what I mean.
Yeah, pretty good
so,
idea.
so to make sure that at least I'm getting this correctly, so have the HR work with the hoster to basically force cancel a certain test to push towards what's on the
Not just
planned
test.
schedule.
Maybe it's arresting the director. Maybe it's arresting a guard or a group of guards, or just any sort of event that in the future, if we implement something, that actually needs to make sense. Maybe with old HR, I'm saying this like that, but maybe with the new HR that we're gonna make, it's gonna be a whole different types of events. But the core concept would be, instead of HR pulling up and being like Evan Harris 12K said, roadblocks, we're actually like diverting the path to something else. So it breaks, and I believe it could also help hosters break this boring day-to-day cycle that a lot of Side 12ians were complaining about. And again, I'm like a broken record, but for new people saying this, I feel like other departments, if any other department executive is here, I feel like you should also do this because it's probably interesting for your department too. And it would actually, implement more, like most departments, instead of it being an individual role that just takes part of the role play, your role is actually important for the future course of the role play and makes it more interesting and makes people feel more included. And obviously in this role play, maybe there's no HR, but engineering, whole server whatever meltdown, or in this server
Okay, so
no in
I'm
this
gonna
role play
interrupt real
medical
quick.
whatever.
We're going from ways to implement and how this would happen to, oh, we're praising this idea because it's really cool. Here's all of the thoughts I have about it. It's super cool. Yay! I'm a super cool guy. So I think we should
What?
focus on
Damn.
actually like
Bro,
the implementation of it, not like going, hey,
I'm
this is cool.
I'm just saying opinions. Hey dude, chill down. I'm just saying
I
opinions.
know, but
like
everyone has a finite amount of time here, and I think we're getting a little off track. That's what I was trying to say.
Yeah, we need. Okay, so what were we on?
Okay.
What were we talking?
Whatever, that's my idea overall.
So we have like a SOP type thing, like a list of stuff that we'll be focusing on for HR at the moment for like a baseline thing, right?
This
Do we have something like that or no?
during this VC, I've been making a poll, like writing up a poll for all of the different ideas to be the main first focus for HR when we come out.
Okay.
So that's gonna be what we vote on and how we decide what to actually do after this. So
Wait, do we have any say on ranks or anything like that? Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt.
They're currently being developed.
Okay, but
Yeah, we're
that's kind of
communicating.
secondary to, oh hey, what are we actually going to be doing in this department in the first
Yeah,
place?
like
I want to ask a question about that regarding. Have we decided on what kind of specific roles we're going to do? Obviously, I don't want to bring up Site 12 too much, but like, what segments of HR has everyone got in mind?
Well, right now we have basically agreed to start quite small and build up from there. And the current idea is that, and the main idea that people seem to like the most, at least from my observation, seems to be making HR, at least at the start, be essentially the D-class, like representative department slash D-class managers, with the whole labor department and all that, and working with those guys.
What if HR was more of like, instead of just D class, what if it like represented like each department? Like, let's say there was like a subdivision of HR, like a security subdivision that like just represented security, and like kind of as if like let's say there was like a representative of security department or something like that. Is that kind of like a
We sort of already had that in the old HR.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
we
just
we
say,
basically had
um,
that.
I really hope that HR doesn't just become the D class representative, because one of the most enjoyable things for me wasn't representing D class. It was the rare moments that other departments remembered, hey, HR exists, and asking a HR representative to talk to.
I mean,
It was very,
right now we are
it was
talking
very
about
rare,
D-class,
but when it
it's
happened,
just
it
like,
was.
yeah, we're just doing
I-
building blocks right now. So if we're mentioning Class D, it's probably just as a start.
Yeah, like
I
we'll
just-
add
I
more
just-
more things to that afterwards. It's
Like-
just for the first
Right.
like week or two, let's say.
We are
so
coming
like
up.
start us?
We're coming
I
up.
just don't want us to be pigeonholed into being the D class guys.
Yeah,
And being able to offer our services in representing people with employee disputes for the departments and stuff, you know,
Like,
a middleman.
the ideas we're coming up with ideas that are individual and completely separate of one another instead of making one big idea for what HR is going to be with 100 billion different constituent parts, so that we can implement them in small individual bits instead of putting a shit ton of work into a system that ultimately doesn't work. So sure, one of the ideas is D-class protection, but maybe D-class protection would end up being a very, very small part of the department at the end of everything.
Yeah, just we have
I
to
mean,
take
I-
it slow and actually playtest things as we add them, which would only be able to be
Yeah.
done after the server launches.
Yeah,
Um,
it's the
for
I
now,
simplicity part. Start
I
simple, go
kinda
from there.
think I
yeah.
think playtesting.
I mean, I feel like right now in
ideas.
DC, it's just like voicing opinions on future things. We're not really deciding what we're gonna start working on.
Okay,
I think like
so
a
let's.
separate thing should happen for that.
Okay, so let's. So why don't we try to decide what do we want the first building block of HR to be? And do
After
then do a poll, maybe.
after I think the VC should be focused on coming up with the ideas, and then we'll make a poll for that because we want it to be as accessible as possible to people who even aren't in this VC. If that
Yeah,
makes
okay.
sense.
Yeah.
Sure, we might all agree on a certain thing, but we don't have to spend time in this VC talking about it. We could talk about it in threads afterwards.
Yeah. Okay, so just to recap, what ideas have been brought up so far about what HR should start as besides D-class?
So what I've got so far is middle management, so like a place for regular employees to contact administration. D-class protection, advising other departments for new hires and promotions upon request. Managing the labor department for like J-class, medical D-class, ENT D-class, those like people. Making suggestions to other departments for changes in their SOPs, and being a tool for for hosters to use when preventing something from happening in an RP that wasn't to plan.
I feel like, and this is just me. Wait, hold on. Am I cutting out or is my Wi-Fi?
No, you're good. You're
You're
good.
No, it's working.
you're
It's
fine.
working.
Okay. I'm sorry. Considering it's so early on and we still have the, availability for it, I feel like we should first start with the managed labor depths thing because it would be easier to implement way early on if we have close communications with other departments. Because if departments already do start working on their ideas and then we propose stuff and it just doesn't click or doesn't make sense, well, it's too late and we'll have the same old dilemma. Which is why I think we should start with the whole managing other departments because the Class D thing, again, should also be like another priority for like SD and all. But like the middle management, the SOP change and suggestions, that we can always do like along down the road, if you see what I
Yeah,
mean.
like we don't want to run into the same problem that we had in Site 12, where there were things that needed to change inside of the department, but there was no way to change them.
May I ask a question about like the recommendation of like new hires and stuff? Like, would that be like in RP or would that be actually in the Discord itself?
In the Discord.
Discord, I
Discord
believe.
itself.
That to be honest, that seems a little like how would you implement that? Like recommending people, like how are you doing that? Like how would you think you would go about that?
Well, we could have like recommendation forums like we used to have for, forums for minor infractions back in Site 12. Except now it's
Okay,
for recommending people.
I was.
Okay,
It
I mean, I can
also
see
it
that.
also
I
doesn't
just
just
feel it.
include hiring. It also maybe includes promotions, if you see what I mean.
Yeah, I
So
said
as
hiring
the
and
as an
promotions.
HR,
I
yeah,
could
let's
see
say
that,
I saw
but
an SD. Let's say I saw an SD save, manage and handle a hostage situation all by himself, and he did an amazing job. Well, you know what? Maybe I wanna, take like note that down, track him down, maybe take a clip. I don't know how we're gonna handle it, and then we're gonna go to the
um,
SD department and say, hey, this dude did that. Maybe you know, maybe you didn't
honest,
know, but he
can
did
I be
that. So
honest
we're
with
praising
that?
him for that.
It it
Yeah,
sounds kind of cool, but I think if that was like a real thing, it would kind of like basically. I feel like it'd be a bit too. I don't know, it feels weird because like you could easily abuse that, kind of like Sam said. Like you could theoretically abuse, like you say. So this one is someone. This is good. Hey, this guy, I know he did really good and all that jazz. Promoted with that kind of power. HR would need to be really, really selective and who actually gets picked and chosen to the department. It'd be like
That is
well,
the
I feel like
plan
that'd
with
be a
HR though.
little
that is the plan with HR
okay.
overall. We're
Gonna make
probably
it
gonna
pretty hard.
be over.
What
Yeah.
level are you gonna make it be? Are you gonna make it like staff levels or applying to something like that? Or are you
No,
make more like
probably not staff
MTF?
level. Again, Xbox. I believe it's Xbox speaking. This
Mhm.
is
Yeah.
a very early beta version
Okay.
of what
Yeah.
we're
Yeah.
talking about. Okay, we're just scrambling
Yeah. Yeah.
ideas.
I still think
I
it's
can
kind
tell
of
you
good
this.
to
It's
kind of.
definitely yeah. It's definitely not gonna be staff level. Okay, that's I can
Okay.
basically guarantee. I think we can all agree with that because that's kind of just
Yeah.
unfair.
You mean like
But what I mean,
people who actually have moderation permissions in the server?
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
no,
I don't
I
feel like
absolutely agree.
no. That's
Mm.
it's
Yeah,
just
that's just a
unfair.
bad
Okay.
idea. I don't know why.
Like
Yeah,
guys, let's
I
just
mean,
say you
I'm
see
not
the
saying I'm
problem with
like
that point. Okay,
difficulty
scrap
level. I mean,
HR.
I'm saying like difficulty level to get into, not like permissions.
Okay, okay. I was like, what?
Now, I don't. No, I don't think we
Yeah.
should give
Staff
them. I don't think we should give them administrative by saying how hard would it be to get into HR. Like, would it be like
Pretty
MTF
like dude.
levels, hard, or like?
No.
Oh,
What I mean, you have to remember that HR isn't meant to be a big
No, you
department
should do.
overall. We need maybe like two HRs max. Sorry, I'm gonna let
Okay.
McGruff speak.
Just make it any depart. If you're in a department, you can join it, excluding sub departments. I hate them. Okay, and the reason for that.
like
No, I'm
MTF.
not basing this off of past HR. I'm basing this off the fact that HR is unique. Vizluke told me this before you put me as director of HR. That HR is a unique department. If it flops, if it goes prosper, it's whatever. It's unique. So it's not like it's not meant to be popular, and it's also sort of hard to get it popular. It's unique, so it's not like anyone's just gonna willingly put in an application. My point is, not many people are gonna apply as is, so it's better to have it somewhat open to where people can apply, but not too restricted to where almost no one applies. So just have it at like anyone in a department can join, except.
Well, I mean,
except
I feel like when we're first gonna open applications, a whole lot of people are gonna apply, just like
Well,
the
yeah,
old HR
maybe
thing.
for the first
But
month, keep it at like
what?
level 2.
Yeah, but what I mean is like we have limited space, like limited members, because there probably needs to be a max of out of a 40 people server, there probably needs we need maybe a max of 2 to 3 HRs, grand
Oh,
maximum in
I see
game.
what you're
Yeah,
getting
in
at. You say like
RP there
on the
should be
server.
a max number of. I agree with that.
Sorry.
And I want to
Yeah.
elaborate a little bit, saying, if there's like 30 HRs in a RP, there's nothing gonna happen. Like HR is a
Yeah.
tool for other department members to use, or a tool for
Yeah.
the posters to use, not an actual RP generation machine that actually does shit.
That could also
Yeah.
incentivize people playing other roles besides HR to kind of branch out, not just like stick to only being HR and probably
Yeah.
kind of maybe getting sick with it, after playing it only.
And
Only HR.
like that's a big issue is that obviously we can't have that many department members on the Discord because then it would be first here, first to, have the grabs.
Yeah, yeah.
And it just becomes annoying because if you're 15 minutes late or 5 minutes late or 10 minutes late to roleplay and there's already 2 HRs, and even if they make a plugin that limits the amount of HR, then I'm sorry, you're just fucked and you will never be able to play HR, which is why I think the department limit should be very minimal. And so it would be hard, not as a sense of you need to be in multiple departments to join. It would be hard in a sense of there's limited spaces that will change based on how the server is doing overall. That I mean Arc 3 and the in-game server. Um, so that's what I mean personally as hard. I don't know if anybody agrees with that. If you
Uh,
don't, that's totally fine, and we can envision new ideas. But I feel like it should be a very limited number of places in the depth overall, and that's just it. Because then we
um,
have too many members, and then we'll have the same dilemma as when HR first opened, which is too many HRs, not enough spaces, nobody can do enough work, nobody can rank up for a while, and it just becomes annoying. And then a huge dip in player base, and then it's hard to regrow because the reputation is tarnished, and everybody's first
I
impression is
personally think we
annoying.
should try to talk about this now while we're still thinking of new ideas. How can we kind of like limit HR hateability? I would say. How are we gonna plan on trying to
well,
minimize that with what happened to Site 12?
Okay.
the first
Okay,
ideas were just whenever saying something about a person outside of RP, we are not allowed to say anything negative. So like if we're giving advice, what we shouldn't tell a department this person sucks, you don't need to promote them. We should exclusively
Okay.
tell them, hey, this person's great, we recommend a promotion.
So
Okay.
basically,
And then-
Yeah,
so
if it
don't allow
doesn't break the
criticism.
rules, then yeah.
So what you're saying is don't allow criticism.
Positivity over negativity.
Positive criticism. Positive criticism.
I
No
mean,
you know, I
negative.
got a
I
better
see
idea,
that,
yeah.
but it kind of feels
So
like
constructive
little-
criticism
Hold on.
only.
I also have a question about how many, if we're, let's say, okay, I just want to see, do people agree with the idea of having a limited number of places in the department?
I think
Yeah, I agree with this because of
Wait, what?
because
what
of
was
the
that again?
influence the department may or may not have.
Well, because of the amount of, like, the limited amount of HR, like, we need maybe 2 or 3 HRs in game max, and we don't want too many department members because then if you're late to the role play, you're never going to be able to play HR. So, what would be the player limit for people to be in the HR department? That is, let's say, 10 people max, 15 people max, 20 people max, something in
I
between.
mean, honestly,
And I
I
just
think
want
it
to see
depends on
first,
how
before we
like
discuss, and I get, like, I don't know, do people agree with this idea so we can move on talking about this idea?
I
If you
think-
don't, that's fine. We move on to something else.
I think
I
it
think
needs to
honestly,
be.
I think it
max
depends.
like 4 at least. Max 4.
Four, bro.
the-
no,
the-
like,
Yeah,
Are you talking
4,
in-game
bro,
or-
Discord?
I
Discord.
believe
Oh,
The
Discord. Oh
Discord?
shit.
I think the way
I
that we
mean-
should regulate that is not having a hard max on the number of HRs, but instead having very strict regulations about what somebody does with their position, and a strict regulation on the distribution of positions. So a certain percentage of the department cannot be below a certain rank. So if there has to be like one lead, for example, from the stealing from the researcher structure from Site 12, there cannot be more than
Ooh.
one lead researcher per normal researcher. If that makes sense.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't think we need
I don't
a
know. I
hard
don't
limit
really
on
agree
the.
with the max for Discord wise.
Yeah, I mean, to be honest, like
Yeah.
people are gonna leave. Like people are gonna leave. People are gonna be inactive, and they might just be wasting space. Like, what if someone goes on LOA? Did like they take up a hard limit of that? Then if they just go on LOA, like they're not doing anything, they're sitting there kind of.
Overestimating how many people play HR, especially with the last few months of HR on Site 12. It was basically the same 3 people out of what, 15 people?
Yeah.
That's a
I
fair
don't really
Yeah,
think
but
we should
the
have a
difference.
max.
My
No,
advice is just this: just encourage a hard limit in role plays based on the population in the server. Simple as that.
No, but
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree.
no, trust me. It's gonna clog up real fast, and the same people are gonna have the same roles again and again. If we have 40 department members in a month, and then whatever Z5 said, which was activity based, we first did that. I believe Vislic first did that when the department opened. It was too difficult to track and was too confusing. But the issue is, if there is no hard limit in game, if there's no plugin that affects that, then there's going to be way too many HRs. And if there's no department
There
limit
is a
on
way
the
to
Discord,
I
limit.
actually don't believe that there will be too many HRs in RP because there won't be enough work to go around, and players do want
Yeah.
something to do. And
Usually,
so
yeah,
I
you're right,
think
it-
that the self limit should be based on responsibility,
Richie,
how much we
Okay.
need to do.
Also, there should be no mobile task force to bodyguard these people, the HR people. There should be no bodyguards for them.
Well,
Oh,
wait,
nobody was
yeah,
doing
I
it.
feel like
unless they're
we
level
have
four.
to
Unless
have
they're
another
we
one
stick to
now.
a single topic at a time.
level
yeah,
four.
let's
But
not
yes,
divert.
returning to
We
the
don't
original
even know.
topic.
We don't even know if MTF are going to be as they are in Site 12. So
Yes.
Pretty sure
Anyways,
yeah.
MTF aren't gonna exist. They're gonna be a specialized task force in SD.
I propose that we build up a certain percentage of the server that is a hard limit for number of HR personnel.
I feel
And
like a hard limit to the entire department is a bad idea.
I think I agree that a hard limit in the Discord should be a reactive measure, not a not a proactive. What's the preemptive
Proactive.
measure?
Preemptive,
Gage
yeah.
Mason.
Yeah, so wait,
Yes.
hold on. So what you're saying, okay, so if I understand correctly, is that we do this if we realize it's big poo-poo for now, but we don't do this before.
Like,
Yeah,
like,
if it
before the
becomes a
department.
problem, we do have to
You
regulate
have
it.
to
We'll do
remember
it.
though, Gage.
Okay.
Hostess
You know, I'm
get the
completely
final
fine with
say.
that.
Like the
Yeah, no,
hostess,
no, it's fine.
the hostess can just do what they do for D class. Hey, there's too many of
Yeah.
you, so we change role.
Yeah,
exactly.
That was the secondary thing that I was gonna say is that
Like-
hosters are allowed to specify differences in certain RPs. So if the
Yeah,
RP
like-
needs more
Yeah.
HRs, there's not gonna be. And I phrased it incorrectly before. The hard limit
Hostess
for
always
before
done
it
this.
shouldn't
Are you
be.
guys basically referencing a soft limit?
Yeah, a
like,
soft limit.
it's
It's
up to
enforced by the
interpretation.
hoster, not by the server itself.
I feel like that's up to the hoster. The hoster will recognize, hey,
Yeah.
I'm lacking SD, I'm lacking research. There's 5 of you HR people. I need some of you to switch. They've been doing this even with HR
Yeah.
being gone. Like, oh, research. There's a dozen of you, but we only have 2 agents. God,
Yeah.
in 7D class.
We-
Could
we
you please
could-
change?
At KTK,
Hosters aren't
just to-
idiots.
just to
but
do
they
it at
adapt all
all.
the time.
Just to do it at all, I think we should have a recommended number of HR relative to other personnel that we present to hosters, and they can base their decisions off that.
I mean,
I would
in my
personally
mind,
I would
the
just leave
ideal.
it in. Sorry.
I mean, in my mind, the ideal number of HR is like 2 to 3 people, but like any reasonable person can see that like 4 to 5 HR is just too much. So I don't think we even need to bother with this. Just leave it up to hosters.
Exactly, I agree
That's
with that.
fair.
I feel like we are worrying too much about this when this is just something a hoster can easily deal with and make a decision based on what they know their
Okay.
schedule is going to be. You know, a host,
Okay.
a host has a plan. They will
But-
know if they need you or not.
Okay, but then we have to make it early on. We have to work on it early on about how to like not interact, like create a sort of hoster HR type of stuff, because if we don't implement it early on about stuff that HR could do for hosts or participate in it, then they're either never going to use HR or just say, okay, I just need 3 HRs, so you guys get your hours or whatever. We have to think this a little bit early on. Thank God it's the early sunrise of Arc 3. Same thing with the other departments. We can work something with them, and it would make it easier to implement stuff. But again, we have to talk to them early on before roleplay starts, so that they can start and do their idea.
We have kind of gotten very off topic when it comes to what we're trying to do. We should be talking about actual concrete ideas for what people in HR would be doing in RP, not ideas on limiting how many HR
yeah.
are going to be in the department or whatever.
I'd like to remind the members of this meeting that we do have a public poll that has a few obvious winners with a lot of votes, 17, 18. We should pay our attention towards that and decide whether that's whether we can discuss that at this current moment.
Could y'all bring that up for me? Because I can't open it. I have the poll.
Yeah, sure. I'll
we
drop
had,
it.
we had an HR announcement.
Now in
And
the
the room
VC
after.
chat, please.
No, there's another thing.
And we
Mhm.
can link. I can link the poll message
forward
in the
it.
VC chat.
Forward it, yeah, forward it, or take a screenshot.
And
Yeah, okay.
I'm not gonna lie, even if we are getting off topic, I mean, I can agree. Sometimes we are getting a little bit too off topic, but I feel like it's good to change subjects. You're transcribing everything, so we'll have notes and we'll probably make polls on the transcribe. But we have to remember, right now we're not making anything. We're just speaking about the future. So if we, switch topics, it's yeah, we're not right now deciding anything. We're more like, asking opinions on everyone. Do y'all agree? Do y'all not agree? So it saves us time of just, sending messages, making polls, we're having to wait 24 hours. People are just bringing up their ideas. I brought up my ideas, you brought up yours, other people brought up theirs. So with the off-topic thing, I feel like it's actually good if we sometimes get off topic, so we actually get new ideas and change subjects.
My argument against that
Yeah,
and for that is, while I agree and I think that we shouldn't talk about one specific thing the entire time, it's incredibly difficult to build regulations for a department that we haven't even decided what is going to happen yet. Or be about.
Yeah, so we have
Yeah,
to.
I just
yeah,
want
so
to
we
lay
have to
down the
speak.
foundation because I do want to get going soon. It's quite late for me. And I think that if we come to a decision on foundation right now, what we're going to be mostly focusing on,
But
we can, other members that are not currently here can also start developing their ideas.
I know, but right now, guys, I'm gonna be fully honest. This is our first meeting. We can't build foundations based on like 3 hours of yap.
Yes, we can.
We actually
Yeah, that's
no,
the
but we
guys.
need.
We've
we need- we
already-
already had a few
guys,
days of
hold on. Let me
polls
just
also.
say my piece. Let me just say my piece.
Yep.
It's better that we actually hear other people talk, voice their opinions, so we have maybe new ideas for a foundation, than to just in 3 hours decide what we're gonna work on and have the opinions of 5, 6, maybe 7 people.
I don't understand
maximum.
what that means.
We are the whole
What I
point.
mean is that we need more
But-
opinions.
We're doing a community meeting. That's exactly what are you talking about? It's not like we're letting
We-
specific
we-
people
we
talk.
need
Everyone
to-
has the point.
we
Yeah,
need
but
to
we
come
only
up
have the
with the-
majority of the people here. We got like 16 people.
The whole point is that we are
That's
coming
fair,
up
you
with
know, that's
ideas
fair.
that we're gonna put in a poll that everyone can vote on. Sure, people
Also,
can
yeah.
add
You
recommendations
mind if
for
I
the
just
next time we have
butt
a
in
meeting.
real quick so that
Go ahead.
so Z5
Yeah, but then-
can actually forward this to Tracy / White Cry. Can you guys vote on this soft limit thing for the during RP part so that he knows that we all agreed on it?
Yeah.
Just don't vote if
we
you
need
don't
some
vote.
more
What-
choices,
look,
McCraft,
hold
to
on,
the
hold on,
polls.
Oh, boy.
guys. If we're making a poll, then we don't need to decide this on VC.
Agreed.
Let's just continue saying opinions. If we're gonna have an official poll where we're actually gonna vote on, there's no point trying to discuss one idea and deciding something like maybe another thing is gonna win. If you see what I mean, there's gonna be a poll. That's what I don't understand. Why we don't need to stick to one subject. We can hear other
No,
opinions if
I
we're gonna have a
meant-
poll. And
I didn't mean one subject in particular, like how we're gonna implement middle management or whatever. I'm thinking the one subject of what is other things we can add to this poll for people to vote on for the first thing that we do
that's
as a department.
dude. That's
Yeah.
what I've been
Oh my
saying. Hear other opinions. Hear other
Guys, we're
ideas.
just
and not
going
just
back
stick
and
to one
forth now.
subject.
We're just going back
Yeah,
and forth
yeah.
now.
I
Let's just
apologize.
Focus
you know,
on the ideas.
does anybody? Yeah, no. I also apologize. Does anybody else have any ideas of new implementations? I should have just started with that.
Yeah, I actually got a great idea. We're gonna make this a dictatorship and only one man rules the department.
Oh my god.
Yes.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah, that's you,
This is
McGrath.
an amazing idea. Pete.
I think we should do that, but for the server.
Agreed.
Isn't that already?
Wait,
No.
hold on,
Yeah,
hold on.
woo!
Why cry for
And make it so
dictator?
that they
Why
own
cry
all
for
of the money
dictator?
and all of the Discord and all of the SL server and they steal all of the income of all of their constituents.
Oh my
That's
god,
great.
guys,
Guys,
it'd be
just-
crazy.
I
if
just-
Oxford
I just
joined
want just
pretty
make
soon.
just make Uber Hubert
Minecraft,
Mosca
make it an
owner of the server.
oligarchy.
Full dictatorship. You know what?
Make it so that the
Let's
owner
make
of this
SCPS
server is
decide every
capable
server.
of programming and
Yeah.
completely deleting SL itself.
Yes, this is an
You
amazing
know, I'm
idea. bro.
uninstalling
Peak
SL
idea.
right now because I hate that game.
Yeah, anyway,
Yeah,
they
bro,
keep
we're
it
going
smug.
off
I
topic here,
spent
guys.
3,000 hours on this shit game, bro. I hate it. Should
Anyways,
delete that. Why am I hearing fucking
Funny
Rust
yap.
pickaxe soundboard, bro?
Anyone else got anything to add?
No.
Okay, I'm gonna
I have more of a
inspire.
question
Okay, go.
because it kind of relates to how the server or departments are going to run. Is the like to get into HR or to play HR? Do you guys plan to have it like sort of public, fully public,
the
or like
looks
kind
of
of
it-
private?
Or of public, I think.
We're
I
gonna do a
think
poll later.
what we have
We're
decided
still
on
thinking about it, I
is
think.
have it be level 2 for the first month or so, and then as it dies down in terms of hype, just have it be to all department members, like in terms of people in departments. By
No,
the
but I
looks
mean,
of it, I
okay,
don't know.
because it seems like
I
no.
don't-
What I mean by that is because do you guys know how the other like departments are gonna work with like without applying? Is what
I'm gonna
saying.
be, guys, I'm gonna be honest. The level 2 system, okay. And again, I'm sorry. I'm gonna take Site 12 inspiration, okay. Even some people hate it. It just doesn't make sense to me because like you can join a random department and then do a couple hours and boom, you're level 2. Like I
Pancake,
feel like
weren't
that's
you
just a
approving
useless
the idea
feature.
like 10 minutes ago?
No, I didn't approve this. I
I
approved the
do
idea. No, we
know.
never mentioned this. I approved the idea of having a limit to the
I think we
department
did
and that
mention
anybody could join. No, we never did, McCruff. We never mentioned
I think
levels,
your French,
department levels.
I think your French, whatchamacallit, whatever it is, Parkinson's disease is kicking in.
maybe I'm too tired and I'm stupid. And I
Oh yeah,
really
by
do
the way,
apologize for
McCruff,
this, guys.
on your polls, can you give more options and like be more?
I
into
didn't pick
detail what
everything
we're
up from the
talking
meeting,
about?
man. You guys
Like-
gotta put your own
Like,
opinion
come
out
on,
there.
dude. Like, you can't just have one thing to vote on. Like, what else am I supposed to vote on? Like, what's
I
the
don't know
what's
what's
the
on your
point?
own opinion
Don't
here.
you
Oh,
understand?
there's nothing
All
else to
right,
do.
This is a dictatorship. This is a dictatorship. You don't get to choose.
Okay,
You have
guys,
two
It's all
options.
what does level 2 mean?
So,
Does that mean like
about
level
the-
followed
Like
by the number
being-
2?
Did you just ask what level 2
Being
was?
level
like
2 in a
TOO.
department. I think what McCruff said earlier. Hold on. What McCruff said earlier was you are level 2 in a department, and because you're level 2 in the department, you now have the availability to join HR. Which personally I think is stupid.
There's not
because
going
that
to be
doesn't make
level
sense.
twos in other departments. That's
Yeah,
what
that's
I
not a
asked
thing.
earlier.
Do you mean like
Okay, okay. Just real quick, how many of you were at the community meeting that we had the other
I
day?
was there.
I was.
I can actually.
Okay.
I-
Okay,
I was-
let me
I
just
was,
show you
I was-
guys
can
something.
answer.
Let me just show you guys something because it's not going to be like Site 12 departments. It's going to be different because I think you guys are
I
planning.
like different.
I think you guys are planning it for it being
Oh
like
yeah,
Site
you're
12.
doing this
is not
weird
gonna be
tier
Site 12.
system
Yes.
that I hate.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah. I understand.
What the hell?
I do
Oh,
think it's
mother
possible
way.
that we could have sort of limited leveling up to a certain level, but we haven't decided on levels and responsibilities, and so once we do that, we'll be able to give a more definitive
Yeah.
answer.
I'm gonna just say this. Wi-Fi. I believe HR is gonna be way more like unique, quote unquote.
Yeah,
So
I know
levels,
because you guys
overall,
are like saying
we
it's
can't.
it
Yeah,
dependent
but, like,
on
we
other
can't-
departments and being a certain rank, but the only ranks in other departments are going to be staff ranks and not actual ranks.
Yes.
So the plan for that's not going to work.
I think
I
It's
wanna-
gonna be really
the-
confusing
the
rank
idea-
structure.
I think
I'm confused
I have
right
a
now,
proposal.
guys. I'm
I have a
sorry.
proposal. Okay, hold on. First,
I
I'm
think
gonna
we
try
can
and
work
create a
something out.
concise
That's-
explanation
yeah.
of how it's gonna work. So, inside of the SL server, you are capable of getting to a higher rank within a department by just playing the game. However, you cannot be a staff rank, quote unquote, without joining the Discord. And
Wait, so what's the point of the departments if you can already get super high up?
because you don't actually have any Discord power when you don't have Discord.
What? So
joined.
so it's all
You
just
probably-
there
you
for you to
probably-
get more Discord power.
No, what I think, staff that'll. Damn, bro, that's starting need to be studied. I think what Gauge means, correct me if I'm wrong, is that you can play the server and you can be a certain rank leveling up, but then you hit a roadblock, and you need to join the server to actually be higher, quote unquote, up. If you see what I mean, like actually rank up as a staff and actually have Discord power and in-game power over other people. I think that's what he meant, if I'm not wrong.
Well, yeah, I just understand that, but this is getting really off topic now. But since Tracy's here,
It's just questions at that point.
it's just kind of confusing because the way Site 12 rank structure worked, it gave people more of an incentive to actually like join a department, but it's just me. It's me. One man versus
This gives
200.
them incentive to play on the server rather than play on a specific department.
What? So
And
you
Yeah.
want the departments to be dead and the server to be alive? How could you? From me.
the departments
I-
will still have lots of say. Like there's like I had a research meeting. The staff are still going to be able to do a lot. They'll still be able to punish regular players. They'll still have power
Yeah.
in game and out of game.
Also, what's the
there's,
inspector role in SD? I have no clue what that is.
Why are we talking about SD?
Inspector Gadget.
I don't know. I'm not running SD.
Okay, so about this, about the implementation of this into HR and how we can have it and be a prerequisite for joining HR in the first place. First of all, I think HR should be a department in which you have to join through the Discord.
Yeah, that.
Yeah,
Yes.
I agree.
Fair. I agree.
I am Groot. I am Groot, and I agree.
In order to meet the prerequisite for you to join HR, you need to be above a certain rank in the SL server, like completely independently. In the SL server, you can rank up. You have to be above a certain rank.
XE.
Or you have to be a staff member in the Discord. In another department. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I feel like that's actually a good idea. Yeah, no. That actually
I
gave
feel like. Sorry. I feel like making people actually, have to join the department through Discord is already enough for limitation.
Not really, man. Like, I'm gonna be honest. Most people that are gonna start playing Arcade are gonna be on the server anyways, and most people that even play in game are gonna join the server anyways. Again, I mean, you're not gonna spend like 6 months playing on an SL server without joining, the Discord,
Maybe.
and actually ranking up in game.
Maybe.
But I agree with the fact of either be staff in another department or level up naturally high enough in in game. I feel like that's a great idea.
I think an idea to mitigate that is because words. The whole point of making it more restricted is because people who are higher rank inside of HR are going to be managing and have the ability to falsely report information to other departments at some point. That's one of the ideas we had. They're going to be very powerful in what happens in other departments. So, well, not very powerful, but a little powerful in what happens in other departments. So, what if instead of having it be a flat-out requirement to apply, instead we can have it so that you can apply whenever through the Discord, but in order to get above a certain rank in which you gain permissions that are dangerous, you have to be in another department as a staff or above a certain rank in the SL server.
But
Smart.
why? That's just arbitrary boundaries to fucking filter out people with like how much bullshit they're willing to put to play the thing they want to play.
No, but like at this point, to be honest, if you're willing to become a staff in HR, you're willing to deal with the bullshit to play. If you're gonna be, dude, I'm not gonna lie. If you're gonna join HR, you're not signing up for an easy road of just deciding to roleplay 24/7 and let's have fun. No, you're actually wanting, quote unquote, some responsibilities and feel being part of a department and everything. So. And plus, you got to remember, we're maybe going to have a soft limit, maybe we're not, but it's going to be an inclusive type of department. So there's not going to be 80 people that are going to have, deciding to join and everything. Maybe there's 10, maybe there's 15.
Okay.
So,
I'm making a little
it's
mini
very-
poll inside of the VC chat. Vote yes if you think there should be extra restrictions to protect the higher ranks in some capacity, whether that be to apply in the first place or above a certain rank to get above a certain rank, or if you don't think that's a good idea. So that we don't
I
just
think
talk
Wait,
about
why are we
these
posting this vote in the
discussions
VC when we
of
can post it in the
whether
other
we-
HR
because I
forums?
can't post it there because I have the VC popped out on one screen and a poll being created on the other that I can't really exit without destroying all my work. Yeah, like.
Alright,
I
I
mean,
think that
restrictions such as
these
approval, you would still have to
discussions of
apply to department.
limiting access to the department are a bit early, considering we don't even know what responsibilities each role will entail.
No, I know,
That's
but
a
So,
good
that,
point.
we're
like,
just weeding out. We're just
l-
weeding out ideas. This is a rough. Remember, this is just a rough basic. Maybe this idea is gonna be scrapped completely. We're just
but
making
we
ideas for
don't
now.
even have the foundations. We need to
We
talk
don't.
about. Okay,
I know, but it's
yes,
like it's important stuff that we're gonna have to mention like by now, and that I
all
understand the
right.
foundations are not laid. Rich P, I
How
completely
about
understand.
I ask some questions right now and then I'll leave. Okay, HR works
Yeah, sure,
with
of
D
course.
class. Everyone's in agreement with that.
In game about what?
I don't know yet.
HR will
D
work
class
with
works
D
with
class
HR.
in some sort of form.
I
I
believe
think so.
Gage is making a poll about this, Rich P.
Yeah.
Again, he's making a poll about the foundations. I don't know if you knew this, but that's the poll that he's
All
talking
right,
about.
but we
And then
do
he is
have a
gonna.
poll. We do have a poll already. Are
What
we
poll?
just
I
going
know,
to
but
What poll
ignore
is
the
but
that?
this
Which
first
poll is
ever
that?
poll?
but this would be after like a big meeting, like with everyone and like new ideas. But I understand. And again, like Z5 said, most of the ideas or polls that are going to be voted on are either going to be scrapped or worked on or like layered on and everything.
Yes,
We
but we
can't like.
talked about overextending, and I feel like we're overextending right now because we're going to create 10 million polls about the same things. Apologies for my frustrations.
No problem, no problem. I understand.
I
Does anybody
think,
else want to respond? Because I feel like I
yeah,
have too
it's
much.
Well,
like
I
I said
mean,
before.
I
It's
kind of agree with Rich P here. We're trying to make up ideas right now. I mean, which is good, which is fine. But we, like he said, we don't even have a foundation yet of what we're gonna do. Like, yeah, there's the
But
idea of staying close to the D class, but then like we have all these ideas we're trying to put together or trying to like pick to make
but
one
how to
new one.
join the
Like,
department is a foundation. It's like the core of a department. How does one join a department?
Well, yeah,
Through
but
filling
people's
out an
opinions
application.
on how that should work are gonna be influenced by what the department that they're trying to join is.
Like
yeah,
I
I'm
but
think
sorry.
the
yeah.
like
Yeah.
I think at least in my opinion, HR should be like something that like you join after like a month or like even 2 months you join after like playing the RP server pretty much
Okay, you know what?
so like basically make it take a while but make it worth it kind of like
Can we? I'll just let's just wrap this whole thing up. How about HR is inclusive? There you go. It's not super difficult to get in, but it requires some amount of dedication to rank up higher. If you see what I
Right.
mean.
Yes,
Can we all
sure.
somehow agree on this?
like I think it should require like the at least approval from like a higher rank HR member or something like to like basically to accept the waves of people like you should require approval from that and then you should I believe you should also be in like a lower mid rank in another department so
Mhm.
basically to prove that yes you can be
F-
responsible in this department
the
so
okay.
hopefully you can be
FBI.
responsible in this department.
Are we?
FBI,
Are
I don't
we?
want to offend you, but then we're just again that's what we were doing earlier. That we're turning around the subject. Like I did that personally. I
Can we
fully admit that.
just
Yeah, you know what? Let's
I
just
didn't mean to
stop
interrupt,
talking
but
about it.
like, can we just make a poll for this and then put our ideas if we want to change it underneath it in the thread, please? Like, I feel like we're just going back and forth
Do we?
and
Do
just
we
circling
even?
around like Pancake just said.
Do we even have a consensus on whether or not we should have an application for HR in the first place? It sounded like
That's true. We don't even have
FBI
that
was
either,
saying
too,
like,
so we just have to.
Yeah, that's again a base foundation. See, that's the issue when creating a department. So many members. I mean, like so many people participating in it. That there's a lot of things that you guys don't think it's maybe like foundations, but it is foundations. Talking about how someone gets in, talking about applications and everything is one of the big foundations, I guess. And then we can work on how the department works. I think. I don't know.
So
I'm gonna have to dip soon.
okay.
Just to say.
Yeah.
All right,
I
may
appreciate
I
your time.
structure this meeting a little bit? Well, I have four foundational questions that I will put as the results of this meeting. I will put a link to the poll that Gage is creating, and then we can probably get this meeting over with. Okay, first question: does HR work with D class?
Oh, I mean,
We do not know. We're
we don't
creating a
know.
poll for
It's
that.
an idea. It's
It's
one
one
of
of
the
the
main ideas for us
founding
to start
founding
No, it's been
foundations of the
approved.
I believe it
It's
should.
already been approved.
It should.
Okay.
It's probably gonna be approved though. I can guarantee that. We're gonna work on it.
All
Maybe
right.
not the first idea we're
Okay.
gonna start
So,
working
yeah,
on, but it's gonna be worked on.
All right. HR introduces new players to RPs and the community. It has 16 votes. Do we approve it? That's basically all of HR.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah.
That's-
For
HR
now,
gives
yes.
vote-
Maybe it'll
vocal
change.
praises, it makes recommendations. That's another one. And HR gives out recommendations to departments for newbies. We'll have to
Yes.
probably discuss this
basically
with.
basically
Right.
being like a server guide for newbies. I'd approve
Yes.
Yes.
All right. HR
Why not?
handles minor NRP complaints.
that. Like kind of like
Middle
oh my god,
management. That's
Yeah, kind of
yeah.
yeah. Okay,
would
that's
say
like
same
yeah.
thing
saying,
as
"Oh,
earlier. That's
yeah, you
on
shouldn't do
Gage's
that."
poll.
Yeah, that's
no,
on
that's on
that's
Gage's
on my
poll.
poll,
Alright.
but my poll is for what's the first thing we should make, not what we should include in the department as a whole. And we kind of came to a
Oh,
decision
okay.
before that talking about what the department as a whole is going to look like is kind of unimportant when we haven't made decisions on what the department is first going to do at all.
True.
So
True.
it's kind of hard. You
But
know what I mean?
most of the ideas you said are most definitely probably going to
Yeah.
be implemented later on the
And,
road.
All right. Well, I'll get going then.
I also
yeah.
added one of your
Honestly,
ideas to the
I
poll.
kind of agree with like what Pet Russian here is saying. Like have HR deal with like NRP punishments like D class warnings or like security getting demoted to D class. For example, like that's something HR could deal with. Like basically kind of be like as well as the server guide. Like they could also be like the dude that fires you if you have to. I mean, not from like a specific
I'll add it to the
department, but I'm
poll.
talking like in RP.
Well, actually, no. It's already in the poll in the form of middle management. But I think the specific idea of having HR for a second time be just the department that punishes people for doing things that are very minor infractions and just kind of annoying everyone through the RP is a bad idea.
Yes, I believe we talked about this earlier, but for new people, we're probably not going to implement the roadblock thing, except if it's in correlation with hosters, maybe. I don't know. That's just it. I believe
I
that
believe
sums up what we
last time
talked
HR
about
tried to
earlier.
do that, it did not work so well, and
No, I
that's
know, but
where
like,
HR was going downhill.
yeah, but like the difference is, when HR was created, it was in the middle of like 2+ years of Site 12 being created, and other departments already having their rules, and hosters already having their stuff. The upper hand that we have here is that every department is starting out. There aren't any like, I believe there are hosters, but I don't know if there's just staff or hosters because it's like staff / host or whatever. But the difference is if early on we work up something such as a direct line of contact with the hosters or direct line of contact with other departments, it can make it easier to implement but I don't know, like better RPs or have departments more included than just jobs that have like special stuff in game, if you see what I mean, and actually have like role play purposes.
Also, I just want to say real quick, just before we get to points, Z5 just requested not to talk over each other. If you guys talk over each other again, I will just mute you for a minute. Everyone got that? Yeah?
That's what I wanted. I wanted to say, hey, let Ycry speak, because Z5 wanted something.
Alright, sick. Just think about that moving forward, so let people actually finish their points. Alright, you guys can continue to discuss.
Can I add a slight condition to that? For the talking over thing? In British Parliament, there's a specific phrase that they use whenever they want to interrupt someone, but I forgot what it is. Can we come up with a specific phrase that's like, if you'll allow me to interject. Watermelon. That
I was gonna
watermelon
say,
means you
like-
have an important point to what you're specifically talking about at that
Watermelon.
exact point in your point. If that makes sense.
Cocomelon.
And you have
Cocomelon.
to accept them saying cocomelon or watermelon. in order for them
Cocomelon,
to-
guys.
Can we just like do it just like as a bi-weekly type thing, like for staff, dude? Like just go one at a time and then have one individual saying, "Okay, are you done? All right, we'll move on to this person like next." Like,
I mean,
That makes
No,
sense.
but the difference is bi-weeklies, it's like 1 point and then it's over. Oh, sorry,
I mean,
watermelon.
I feel like it'll be better
watermelon.
than what's going on right now because everyone like there's only like four or five people that were talking at the same time, and not everyone else was talking. Like
Okay.
it was just chaotic.
Proposal: me and Pancake and Gork all just mute each other for the next 10 minutes.
But I'm gonna probably dip because it's like 1 a.m.
Is this meeting over yet, or are we still talking?
They're still
Oh,
talking
no.
about the same things they started talking about at the start.
I think this meeting
True.
should just be over at this point.
Yes.
Alright, well that was productive, guys. Great job. I think
Very good.
all the info, all the points have been made. I think all the stuff's in polls. We have someone with a poll. Who here had the poll with all the info?
Gage, I believe.
Does anybody
Gage,
have
it's
any final
Gage.
things that they want to add to the poll? I'm just gonna list what we already have in the poll. For the first idea for HR2B is middle management, protectors of Class D, advising other departments for new hires and promotions, managing the labor department, which is J class, medical class, ENT class, making suggestions to other departments to change their SOP based on citations from RPs and problems that happened. Be a tool for hosters to use when preventing something from happening in the RP that wasn't planned, and helping new players to the RP server. So, like if someone doesn't know how CTAG works or whatever, we can explain everything and help them set themselves up.
There's something I'd like to add, Gage. Personally, as I said before, staff disputes, inter-staff disputes between two players that's in character.
Like, doesn't that
like
fall
when
under
she
middle
went to-
management?
Well, no, not necessarily. This is more resolving disputes between two characters, right?
Oh, like, something
Like
in
HR,
between.
like
something
HR
in
would actually
between.
do in a real company.
I don't know how to say it, but couples therapy.
Couples, yeah, sure,
Yeah,
why
it's,
not?
it's,
I mean,
closer to
I mean,
that. That's the only thing I can think of.
I mean, co-worker disputes is kind of what it is. But if you want to put couples therapy, go for it.
Handling discourse.
Also, lawyers, or can forward you to a lawyer team if you need it. Because let's be honest, a lot of people in these sites tend to commit fraud or some other kind of crime at some point in their time here. Or maybe they'll dissect 049 and 049 decided to sue them. I don't know.
That seems like more of a silly RP idea.
It sounds silly, but it happened during a semi-serious, so I don't know what to tell you, Gage. Okay. My point is that HR could always step in as law advice, unless there's a dedicated lawyer on site for some reason. Okay.
Like a defense attorney.
Not necessarily like a defense attorney, but more like advice. Like that's what HR would do in this situation when it may impact the company's bottom line. You know,
that makes
advising you on what to do instead of panicking and doing something stupid like I don't know, stealing 207 and running away. I don't know. So, people do crazy things when they panic, Gage.
Mhm.
And I'm just saying, like, I know there's this HR there for the D class, but I'd rather be more there for the actual staff than the D class, personally, because the D class are all little shits. Let's be real.
Do we have any other additions to the poll?
Yes, let's have the duck part of the HR, please.
Urban wants to do something, I think.
No, I was gonna say the meeting's over.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I think
Are we good?
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Bet, awesome. Let's go.
How long do we want the poll to be? 24 hours?
Hey, Dot.
Maybe yeah, 24.
I mean, yeah, 24 hours. It doesn't need to be long.
You're engaged. You're transcribing everything, right? I think,
I've been
or is it
recording
too
this whole
long?
time. I'm gonna stick it through a AI thing that's gonna basically generate captions. Do you want me to transcribe?
12.
This is a
Oh my god.
2 hour, 38-minute meeting. Do you want me to transcribe every single thing with my own ears? No.
Yep. Yep. Yep.
Yep.
And you
We're
need to do it
doing
like,
we're doing some redneck work right now.
you
Okay,
need to
bro,
do
you
it
got
like everyone's talking over each other as well. So have fun with
No.
Carlos blue, but my neck is red.
I'm quitting.
You know, type shit, bro. And bro, this HR, bro, this HR, you didn't get the memo? You didn't get the memo?
He
There
didn't
you go.
get the
We do
memo.
everything out here. No AI. AI is banned here, bro.
He did not get the memo.
Ban this motherfucker. Ban this motherfucker. Why
We
be
should have like a
crying?
meeting
Tracy,
every
ban
like
him.
end of the week.
C5, kick him out of here, bro. It's over for him. He just, damn, he just dived himself, bro. It's crazy.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
My
Oh,
thing that I was like
good.
listening to and looking at
First
throughout the
HR
whole
meeting
meeting
results,
was
HR
that
declared.
like it felt like we were rushing things. Like I know we're trying to get things
does
done
feel
and
like
all that,
that,
but like
yeah.
we don't have to rush. We don't have
There
to
is no
rush.
rush.
Like there's not even a set time or date for the server that's gonna be
That's
up. Like it
It's
feels
gonna
like
be
we're
what I
rushing
said
things.
earlier, bro.
3 minutes.
We're doing this shit in one meeting, bro.
3
Five
minutes? Wait
Yo,
a
by
damn.
the way, Tracy, them 3 minutes of deodorant is up, bro. You smell too bad. Get the fuck out of
No,
here.
no, I
Put-
just put on maple bacon musk. All right.
I was
it'll
wondering
really
what was
good.
gonna
Butt in here, guys, and say
Maple
that I
bacon
hope
musk.
HR.
Yo, can you just I don't know, some fucking stronger with you intensely or like an actual perfume? Because goddamn, bro, the deodorant stinks.
What's wrong with maple bacon musk?
Wait, you have
buddy.
maple bacon perfume?
Oh,
It sounds
What?
Yo, nah, Tracy. It sounds like you got that shit off a fucking homeless man that brewed that in a pickle jar, bro. Just
makes
you know.